Floating. People started applauding before Mr. Tushman's words actually registered in my brain. I heard Maya, who was next to me, give a little happy scream when she heard my name, and Miles, who was on the other side of me, patted my back. "Stand up, get up," said kids all around me, and I felt lots of hands pushing me upward out of my seat, guiding me to the edge of the row, patting my back, high-fiving me. "Way to go, Augie. Nice going, Augie." I even started hearing my name being chanted. "Augie, Augie, Augie." I looked back and saw Jag leading the chant, fists in the air, smiling and signaling for me to keep going, and Amos shouting through his hands, "Woohoo, little dude!" Then I saw Summer smiling as I walked past her row, and when she saw me look up at her, she gave me a secret little thumbs up and mouthed the silent cool beans to me. I laughed and shook my head like I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I think I was smiling. Maybe I was beaming. I don't know. As I walked up the aisle toward the stage, all I saw was a blur of happy, bright faces looking at me and hands clapping for me, and I heard people yelling things out at me. "You deserve it, Augie. Good for you, Augie." I saw all my teachers in the aisle seats, Mr. Brown and Miss Petosa and Mr. Roach and Mrs. Atanabe and Nurse Molly and all the others, and they were cheering for me, woohooing and whistling. I felt like I was floating. It was so weird. Like the sun was shining full force on my face and the wind was blowing. As I got closer to the stage, I saw Miss Rubin waving at me in the front row, and then next to her was Mrs. G, who was crying hysterically, a happy crying smile and clapping the whole time. And as I walked up the steps to the stage, the most amazing thing happened. Everyone started standing up, not just the front rows, but the whole audience suddenly got up to their feet, whooping and hollering, clapping like crazy. It was a standing ovation for me. I walked across the stage to Mr. Tushman, who shook my hand with both his hands and whispered in my ear, "Well done, Augie." Then he placed the gold medal over my head, just like they do in the Olympics, and had me turn to face the audience. It felt like I was watching myself in a movie, almost like I was someone else. I was like that last scene in Star Wars Episode 4? A New Hope and Luke Skywalker. Han Solo and Chewbacca are being applauded for destroying the Death Star. I could almost hear the Star Wars theme music playing in my head as I stood on stage. I wasn't even sure why I was getting this medal, really. No, that's not true. I knew why. It's like people you see sometimes and you can't imagine what it would be like to be that person, whether it's somebody in a wheelchair or somebody who can't talk. Only I know that I'm that person to other people, maybe to every single person in the whole auditorium. To me, though, I'm just me, an ordinary kid. But hey, if they want to give me a medal for being me, that's okay. I'll take it. I didn't destroy a Death Star or anything like that, but I did just get through the 5th grade, and that's not easy if you're not me. Even if you're not me. Pictures. Afterward, there was a reception for the 5th and 6th graders under a huge white tent in the back of the school in the back of the school. All the kids found their parents, and I didn't mind at all when Mom and Dad hugged me like crazy, or when Via wrapped her arms around me and swung me left and right about 20 times. Then Papa and Tata hugged me, and Aunt Katie and Uncle Po and Uncle Ben. Everyone got kind of teary-eyed and wet-cheeked. But Miranda was the funniest. She was crying more than anyone and squeezed me so tight that Via had to practically pry her off me, which made them both laugh. Everyone started taking pictures of me and pulling out their flips, and then Dad got me, Summer, and Jack together for a whole group shot. We put our arms around each other's shoulders, and for the first time I can remember, I wasn't even thinking about my face. I was just smiling a big, fat, happy smile for all the different cameras clicking away at me, flash, flash, click, click, smiling away as Jack's parents and Summer's mom started clicking. Then Reed and Maya came over, flash, flash, click, click, and then Charlotte came over and asked if she could take a picture with us. And we were like, sure, of course. And then Charlotte's parents were snapping away at our little group along with everyone else's parents. And the next thing I knew, the two Maxes had come over, and Henry and Miles and Savannah. Then Amos came over and Eximna, and we were all in the big tight huddle as parents clicked away like we were on the red carpet somewhere. Luca, Isaiah, Nino, Pablo, Tristan, Ellie. I lost track of who else came over. Everybody practically. All I knew for sure is that we were all laughing and squeezing in tight against each other, and no one seemed to care if it was my face that was next to theirs or not. In fact, I don't mean to brag here, but it kind of felt like everyone wanted to get close to me. The walk home. We walked to our house for cake and ice cream after the reception. Jack and his parents and his little brother, Jamie, Summer and her mother, Uncle Po and Aunt Kate, Uncle Ben, Tata, Papa, Justin, Via, and Miranda, Dad, and Mom. It was one of those great June days when the sky is completely blue and the sun is shining, but it isn't so hot that you wish you were on the beach instead. It was just the perfect day. Everyone was happy. I still felt like I was floating, the Star Wars hero music in my head. I walked with Summer and Jack. We just couldn't stop cracking up. Everything made us laugh. We were in the giggly kind of mood where all someone has to do is look at you and you start laughing. I heard Dad's voice up ahead and looked up. He was telling everyone a funny story as they walked down Amesfort Avenue. The grown-ups were all laughing too. It was like Mom always said, Dad could be a comedian. I noticed Mom wasn't walking with the group of grown-ups, so I looked behind me. She was hanging back a bit, smiling to herself like she was thinking of something sweet. She seemed happy. I took a few steps back and surprised her by hugging her as she walked. She put her arm around me and gave me a squeeze. Thank you for making me go to school, I said quietly. She hugged me close and leaned down and kissed the top of my head. Thank you, Augie, she answered softly. For what? For everything you've given us, she said, for coming into our lives, for being you. She bent down and whispered in my ear, You really are a wonder, Augie. You are a wonder. The appendix, Mr. Brown's precepts. September, when given the choice between being right or being kind, choose kind. October, your deeds are your monuments, inscription on an Egyptian tomb. November, have no friends not equal to yourself. December, audentes fortuna juvat. Fortune favors the bold. Virgil. January, no man is an island entire of itself. February, it is better to know some of the questions than all the answers. March, kind words do not cost much, yet they accomplish much. April, what is beautiful is good, and who is good will soon be beautiful. May, do all the good you can by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. John Wesley's rule. June, just follow the day and reach for the sun. The polyphonic spree, light and day. Postcard precepts. Charlotte Cody's precept. It's not enough to be friendly, you have to be a friend. Reed Kingsley's precept. Save the oceans, save the world. Me. Tristan something's precept. If you really want something in this life, you have to work for it. Now quiet, they're about to announce the lottery numbers. Homer Simpson. Savannah Wittenberg's precept. Flowers are great, but love is better. Justin Bieber. Henry Joplin's precept. Don't be friends with jerks. Henry Joplin. Maya Markowitz's precept. All you need is love. The Beatles. Amos Conti's precept. Don't try too hard to be cool. It always shows and that's uncool. Amos Conti. Eximna Chin's precept. To thine own self be true. Hamlet Shakespeare. Julian Albine's precept. Sometimes it's good to start over. Julian Albans. Summer Dawson's precept. If you can get through middle school without hurting anyone's feelings, that's really cool beans. Summer Dawson. Jack Will's precept. Keep calm and carry on. Some saying from World War II. August Pullman's precept. Everyone in the world should get a standing ovation at least once in their life because we all overcome the world. Augie. Some vital resources if you want to go check out more bullying resources. And then that's the end. She has her acknowledgments and everything. I hope you all loved this book as much as I loved this book and maybe learned a little bit of a valuable lesson while reading it as well.